Jess Lees from Grace in Manchester,
Yes.
singer-songwriter and writer of the theme tune for our TV pilot, The Peculiar Pair. So to actually write for a TV pilot, how did that feel for you?
Well, I studied in Manchester doing a degree in songwriting and professional musicianship. So there was a module where we did writing, like commercial songwriting. So it's really good to put that to use. And it was exciting to, like the reaction that I got from people, and you all said it was dead good.
Oh,
So
take good. It was
makes me
very
feel like
good.
It wasn't
Yeah.
a whole waste of time, and it was all worth it. But it was like I really enjoyed the process, and it was nice to be able to test myself and like challenge myself in different ways. And obviously writing for a brief, which can be quite a daunting thing to do.
Yeah.
And because obviously normally I have the freedom to write whatever I wanted to write and go in whichever direction I wanted to go.
So how did you? My favourite lyrics are the chorus, and I just love them. Do you want to just say them out loud?
So the lyrics are. One whole has two hearts, and we are a peculiar pair.
Yeah.
This hope has two hearts, and will be forever.
Oh, it makes me cry even now. Because the only thing we gave you was a little promo, and it had our costume. We had our costumes on. So how did you come up with that from just so little information?
Yeah, well, I thought the costumes were amazing.
Yeah.
But I really took inspiration from the leopard print that you're wearing and the unicorn onesie. And I was trying to obviously think of the animals that they symbolise and the places that they symbolise and how I could draw off those for inspiration. And obviously they're completely different.
Completely.
But they both have this sort of like majesty about them. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that and then I started that kind of inspired me to look at different opposites, but how they can be very similar. And then that's kind of where it all.
Well, yeah, you really managed to put it together so succinct. What are you going to do with it when you finish? I mean, do you think it would transfer as a single?
Well, so in the beginning, I was wondering whether to just write it as like different instrumental parts and like little kind of intro bits. So, but then I thought if I would do it as a single, then we can release it, and then it can be Peculiar Pair song.
The Peculiar Pair is quite intense, but it's done through comedy. So how did that inspire you to write these poetic lyrics?
I just really enjoyed the chemistry that both characters had, and both of the characters in themselves and what they stood for, how they've crossed paths. And so the line, for weeks I studied the stars, protected only by a tree, until you saw a person in me.
Oh my God.
That's inspired by your character sleeping in the bin.
Yeah.
And obviously not having a roof over our head and being able to look up at the stars. I think we've all had those experiences where we've met somebody that's just, like not even necessarily in a relationship kind of way, just somebody in a bar or just in a smoking area, somewhere like that where you just wouldn't have crossed paths normally.
Yeah, and these two,
hit it off.
yeah, and these two women have, in a way, nobody gives them the time of day.
Yeah.
And that lyric, you saw the person in me, just brings tears to my eyes. It's so beautiful. Thanks again. Thank you so much for the gift of your music.
Yeah.